Hey guys, and welcome to this week's Octatrack tutorial. This week is a pretty quick tip. Basically, I just wanted to show you guys something you may not be aware of about the use of patterns. So at the basic level, when you are triggering a pattern, you hit pattern and you switch between these to get to them. And you can adjust how the reaction to this, how the Octatrack responds by going into your pattern settings and setting use pattern setting to p length. And so this is the default setting, which means however long your pattern is how long it's going to take the pattern to play. But you can also set it to be like weird values, like every 8 steps, every 2 steps, every quarter note basically is what this is. So you'll notice that the second one is based on the p length, so it still plays the entire 16-step bar. So why am I talking about this? Because I accidentally stumbled upon a new trick the other day, which is that you can select multiple patterns. And essentially what happens is that it will cycle through these numerically. And then it loops. So you can basically use this to treat patterns very differently. Originally, I had thought about using patterns mostly as entire self-contained sections that you then transition in between. But with this kind of format, you could imagine having just different variations on each one. So maybe you start with something. And by the way, I used a quicker tempo just because to me techno works pretty well with this kind of thing. But essentially, you could start with one pattern like this and then expand it. Or just use breaks. That's actually the main point I wanted to make this time around, is just this kind of interesting way that you can use multiple patterns in succession with each other. So instead of creating one pattern that has maybe 4 bars on it, you could just have 8 different patterns that have 1 bar on them, and then combine them in different configurations and see which ones you like. There's something else I wanted to add to this, and it kind of builds on what I've been talking about in the past with pickup machines, because as we talked about before, pickup machines aren't actually assigned per pattern, so they play on a clock independent from everything else. They're synced in time usually, but basically they just keep playing no matter what pattern you're playing. So if I have a loop like this, it doesn't matter what pattern I'm playing, as long as I have the same part, or as long as I have a pickup machine set to that track, then I can just keep playing on this pickup machine and then change patterns underneath it. Right, so that is the pretty short tutorial this week on creative pattern building. And I have a couple of announcements now that you've made it to the end of the video that kind of pertain to my own projects. I've linked in the description of this video a couple links. I'm playing a show in LA on December 12th, so if anybody wants to see me perform with this thing, I'll be using it really mostly to play stems for my pop project I'll link that as well in the description. And I also made a techno side project with a friend of mine. All of those links are in the description, so if you enjoy these videos, feel free to check out some other things that I'm working on. All right, thanks. Thanks for watching.